Hello, kindergarten. I'm back with another fun book to help us learn more about insects and that metamorphosis that they go through. But today, I found a fiction book. I can tell it's a fiction book because when I look at the characters, look at the caterpillar. She's wearing a hat. So I can tell it's going to be a make-believe book. And when we read make-believe or fiction books, we have to remember all those story parts. The characters, the setting, the beginning, the middle, the end, the problem, the solution, so that we can, at the end, help us remember the main idea, what the author is trying to teach us. And a lot of times in fiction books, even though we're using our imagination, a lot of times the authors still have really important things they try to teach us or lessons they try to teach us. And in this case, it's going to teach us about the metamorphosis of some animals. So you pay attention to all these story elements while we read the book. The Caterpillar and the Polliwog by Jack Kent. Caterpillars aren't like other folks. As ducks and hippopotamuses and you and I get older, we get bigger, especially hippopotamuses. But not caterpillars. They turn into butterflies. Turning into something else like that is not a thing just anybody can do. Down by the pond, there lived a caterpillar who was very proud of being different. She bragged about it to her friends. "When I grow up, I'm going to turn into something else," she told the snail. "That's nice," said the snail, who really didn't care one way or the other. "When I grow up, I'm going to turn into something else," she told the turtle. "I don't blame you," said the turtle, who didn't much like wiggly things. "When I grow up, I'm going to turn into something else," she told the Polliwog. "What fun," said the Polliwog. "What are you going to turn into?" But the caterpillar hurried on her way, looking for someone else to tell her secret to. "I wish I could turn into something else when I grow up," said the Polliwog. "You will," said the fish. "All pollywogs do." "What am I going to turn into?" the Polliwog asked. But the fish saw a tasty bug and dashed after it. A bug. Fish like to eat bugs. "When I grow up," said the caterpillar, who had circled the pond and was going around for the second time, "when I grow up," she told the Polliwog again, "I'm going to turn into something else." "So am I," said the Polliwog. "You?" The caterpillar was so surprised she almost fell into the pond. "The fish said so," the Polliwog told her. "Fish know things. They go to school." The caterpillar was upset. "I thought only caterpillars could do it," she said rather sadly. "What are we going to turn into?" the Polliwog asked. "Well, I'm going to turn into a butterfly," said the caterpillar. "Then I guess I will too," the Polliwog said happily. "What fun! Let's do it together." "All right," the caterpillar agreed, although she would rather have done it alone. "But I get to go first." The Polliwog didn't mind. He wasn't at all sure how it was done. "I'll watch you," he said. So when the time came, the caterpillar started to spin a cocoon. "This is the tricky part," she said. The Polliwog watched as the caterpillar spun. Soon only her head was uncovered. "Now I have to close the lid," she said, "and when I come out, I'll be a butterfly." Go ahead, the Polliwog said excitedly. I want to see you do it. It will take a while, the caterpillar warned. She started spinning again and was soon out of sight in the cocoon. For a long time, nothing happened, but the Polliwog was patient. He watched and watched and watched. What are you noticing about him? Yeah, he's so busy watching the caterpillar. What's happening to him? He's growing legs. For days and days and days. Oh, look at him now. At last, there was activity in the cocoon. The end of it opened, and very slowly, the caterpillar climbed out. Only she wasn't a caterpillar anymore. She was a butterfly, a beautiful yellow butterfly. The Polliwog was so excited, he hopped up and down with delight. He hopped up and down like a frog. I was so busy watching you, he said. I didn't notice what was happening to me. You're a very handsome frog, the butterfly said as she flew off to try her new wings. But the frog was puzzled. I thought I was going to be a butterfly, he said. A caterpillar wiggled by. When I grow up, he said proudly to the frog, I'm going to turn into something else. But the frog wasn't listening. He was admiring his reflection in the water. I am, you know, a very handsome frog, he said. So, let's think about what we read. Let's think about all those story elements. Who were the characters? Well, the characters were the caterpillar and the Polliwog, and then some other animals that they talked to and told their secrets. But the caterpillar and the Polliwog were what we call the main characters. And then what was the setting? The setting was near the water or the pond where all the animals lived. Now, what was the problem in the story? Well, the problem was the Polliwog doesn't know what animal he will turn into. He didn't even know he was going to turn into an animal, did he, until the fish told him. And now he thinks he's going to turn into a butterfly. And then at the very end, he doesn't turn into a butterfly, but instead he turns into a handsome frog. And so what's the main idea of the story? Well, it teaches you. It teaches you not only the metamorphosis of the caterpillar and how she changes from a caterpillar to a butterfly, but what other animal goes through a metamorphosis? Yeah, and we learned about this when we learned about amphibians, right? A frog. A frog starts as a Polliwog and completely changes into a frog. So that's a really fun book. Although it's fiction, it still teaches us some important things. So let's go back to what we're learning about this week, and we're learning about the life cycle of a butterfly who goes through that really special metamorphosis. And I have a pretty cool wheel here. And it starts out with the egg, which is the beginning of the life cycle, and it says a female butterfly lays the eggs. All right, and it usually takes about 4 days. It shows you here how many days it takes. And then out of the egg comes the larva. And the larva is the caterpillar, and the caterpillar hatches from an egg, and the caterpillar is called a larva. And here it says that takes 1 week. And then if you spin the wheel, remember we said that the caterpillar grows by eating leaves. So that's another week. And then the caterpillar forms a protective shell called a chrysalis or a pupa. And that phase takes 10 days. So it takes 10 days for them to spin that cocoon or that pupa. And then after about 2 weeks, a butterfly slowly emerges from the chrysalis. And it says it takes about 4 hours for them to finally make their way out. And now they're the adult butterfly. When its wings dry, the adult butterfly is ready to fly. And that takes up to 6 weeks. The whole thing takes about 6 weeks to go from egg all the way to adult, about 6 weeks. All right, so that is an amazing thing that happens out in nature. So today what I encourage you to do, there's 2 things I encourage you to do today. You can print off this butterfly life cycle paper, and you can cut out the pieces at the bottom and glue them and make your own life cycle. And if you don't have a printer and can't print this off, that's okay. You could draw it, because I know there's a lot of good artists out there. So draw the life cycle, okay? So what's the beginning part of the butterfly's life cycle? Yeah, it starts out as the egg. So you'd glue the eggs up there on the leaf. All right, and if you're drawing it, maybe you could just draw a leaf with some eggs on it. And then you could draw an arrow. And then what comes out of the eggs? Yeah, we call it the pupa or the caterpillar. So then you could draw a caterpillar. And then the caterpillar eats and eats and eats and gets bigger and bigger. So then you could draw another arrow. And then after he eats and eats and eats and gets bigger, what does he do? Yeah, he spins that chrysalis. So then you could draw maybe a little branch, and on it, draw the chrysalis. And then after a long time, lots of changes happen here. You draw another arrow, and then what's going to come out of the chrysalis? Yeah, beautiful butterfly. And then you could draw a butterfly. And then it shows here you could draw another arrow, because this is how the life cycle, it's like a circle. It keeps happening over and over again, because now the butterfly lays the eggs, and then it starts the whole cycle all over again. So I encourage you to draw or cut out and put together the butterfly life cycle. And then I also encourage you to think about all of the insects that we've learned about this week. And I want you to write about what your favorite one is. So if you get your bug jar out and you think about all those insects that Eddie's helped us to become experts in, we've got a ladybug in there, we've got a grasshopper, we've got a dragonfly, and now we put a butterfly in there. So pick your favorite and write what your favorite is. And then, but I also want you to give your opinion. And remember that word we used when we write our opinion? Because. And tell us why you like that insect the best. And remember, star writers, these are the things they do. Make sure you leave finger spaces between your words. Start with a capital letter. If you use the word I, make sure that's capitalized. If you have words you don't know, stretch them out. Use lowercase letters, and just use a capital at the beginning or in the word I, and then always put that period at the end. So here's my sentence I started just to give you an idea. I wrote I put an uppercase I left a finger space. I like finger space A, and then you could fill in the blank with your favorite insect, and then write because, and then leave a space and give us a reason why. I like a butterfly because they are pretty. Or I like a dragonfly because it can fly backwards. Or I like a ladybug because it has black spots on it. Or it eats aphids and keeps our plants healthy. So there's lots of reasons why you might like these insects. So tell us your favorite, tell us why, and then post a picture. All of these things that you're doing, post pictures, send them to your teachers, show them all the learning that you're doing and all the fun that you're having. We love to see this, and this is the part that we miss the most. So have fun learning, post pictures, and have a great day.